You're watching Friday Night Football Fever with Pete Byrne and Carl Deffenbaugh. Presented by TCU. The hits start now.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Football Fever. I'm Pete Byrne. He's Carl Deffenbaugh. Great week two here.
Yeah,
Indiana's
absolutely.
in full swing. Michigan's getting started, but we're going to begin our night at Penn High School where there is a change on the field.
That's for sure. The Kingsmen sold the naming rights to Freed Field, as we told you earlier, to TCU.
That's right. TCU, of course, longtime sponsor of this program, Friday Night Football Fever, and now they're partnering with Penn High School as well. So let's check out TCU Freed Field. You see the marquee on the press box there. It looks very nice, but on the field, Kingsmen, same old wild bunch, looking every bit like the number 3 team in the state. Quarterback sack here early on. Nathan Boone drags down the quarterback from behind. You know, they were great last week. Had a shutout going at halftime tonight. Penn leading 7-0 after one quarter. Their Harvard-bound quarterback Camden Bone goes to work here. Hits his man John Olson for a gain of more than 35 yards. And that would set up a short score later on in the drive. It's Bone taking it the final drive himself. Watch that Gold Rush O-line moving the pile over the goal line. Penn up 14-0 at that point. Kingsmen roll to a 31-12 win tonight.
Impressive. Here may be the best story of the season so far. Goshen won its first game in more than 2 years last week. Trying to go for 2 tonight. Jeff Stoll breaking ankles on his way all the way down to the 1-yard line. Goshen, though, would settle for a field goal, 3-0. Now the Blazers of Elkhart Central, Matt Moreno with some tough running of his own, but Ramel Johnson puts his helmet right on the ball. That's a fumble, and Goshen takes over. Ensuing drive in the second quarter now, Stoll gets it to pay dirt this time around. Goshen wins again, 31-21, their first 2-game win streak since 2011.
How about that? Final years, the Redskins are trying to make it count.
Yeah.
South Bend Adams hosting Revis out of Illinois tonight, and the Eagles storm School Field. They're in search of their first win of the season, but it's the visitors, the Rams, who strike first. Isaiah Alpuche looking deep. His wide receiver, Brandon Seymour, hauls it in for a huge gain. That would lead to a touchdown early in the second quarter. Quarterback taking it in himself. Revis up 6-0. But look at Adams' answer. Andrew Burgess feeling the pressure. Dumps it off to Gabriel Brooks. And Brooks does the rest. Breaking tackles and going 25 yards to pay dirt. Adams up 7-6. But they would end up falling tonight in overtime. 33-27. Tough loss for Adams in week 2. Well, it's kind of a historic night in the NIC, and for 3 area schools in particular. Over the summer, Bremen, Glen, Jimtown, and New Prairie, as we know, all joined the NIC conference. Well, tonight, the Glen Falcons become the first of those teams to host a conference game. WSBT-22's Adam Derengowski was in Walkerton this evening and joins us now from the live desk with more on this historic game. Adam?
To give you an idea on the history, the Falcons spent almost a half-century playing in the Northern State Conference. But times change, and so is their affiliation as they open their first NIC season tonight against Marion. New head coach Damon Groves got his first win last week, looking for #1 in the NIC as Marion sets foot at Glen High School for the very first time. They feel comfortable right away as the Knights run the counterplay. Joseph Ravato gets the handoff and scampers up the sideline, 31 yards for the touchdown. Knights take an early 7-0 lead. We head to the second quarter now. Marion knocking on the door, and then they blow it down. The big fella, Alex Horvath, lowers the pads and gets into the end zone for the score as Marion routs Glen 34-0. Now, a tough way to be welcomed into the NIC, but the Falcons will get a shot at their first NIC victory when they take on fellow NSC transplant Bremen next week. Guys, back to you.
All right, Adam, thanks a lot. And, of course, Carl, 2 other former Northern State teams made their NIC debuts tonight. They fared a little better.
Yes, indeed. Jimtown at South Bend, Washington, and the Panthers, as we know, without 2 players and an assistant coach as a result of the IHSAA ruling stemming from last week's fight in Michigan City. The Panthers trying to put that behind them. First ever meeting between the Jimmies in Washington.
Hello.
So we got to keep those tickets for some memorabilia, right?
All right.
Jimtown up 14-6 late in the second, but Tyler White's going for it all. Dylan Golddagger, though, makes a great play on the ball, able to pick it off for the Jimmies. Fast forward late in the fourth quarter now, Jimtown able to ice things. Kenny Kern in from a couple of yards out, and the Jimmies win 21-6. Another week of first coming next week. They will get their Elkhart County partner, Central, for the first time.
That'll be fun at Rice Field. All right, check it out. Bremen making their NIC debut tonight at Jackson Field, taking on South Bend Riley, and what a first impression for Bremen. They're up 33-0 at half, so Riley and they're all Grace trying to come back, and when you're down a lot, it means you got to take a few chances. So Richard Davila goes to the air looking deep, and he's going to be intercepted. Double coverage there. Ryan Topper pulls it down for Bremen. He also had a nice night on offense. Now, Riley's not going to go down without a fight in this ball game. They turn it over, but on the very next play, Matt Box back to pass for Bremen. And check out Riantre Lawrence playing DB, turns, catches, gets his feet in bounds. Excellent play by Lawrence, but Bremen spent most of the second half just running out the clock tonight. Nice run coming up by Lions running back Grant Clockow as they're clocking it. Bremen wins their NIC debut in impressive fashion, 39-0.
Heading out west, it was a chill night on the beach in New Carlisle, at least for that guy. Clay and New Prairie, both in the NIC, though tonight's meeting was a non-conference game. Second quarter, the Cougars on their own 30. Kyle Forg drops back, airs it out, and Ryan Mosier is wide open. A 70-yard touchdown pass. Mosier also had a pick six and a rushing score, getting it done.
That's not fair. They're so good running the ball, and they can pass, too.
Just a killer. Meanwhile, Jordan Peck gets an inside handoff. Here's that run you're talking about. Scampers 15 yards for a touchdown. The Cougars roll 64-13.
And South Bend St. Joe took the long ride down to Lafayette tonight to take on Jefferson. Indians trailing 14-0 in the second half on 4th and goal. Pass to the end zone, but Dan Rixey breaks it up and denies the Indians, so they walk away with no points. Fourth quarter now, another 4th down, and it's Tony Carmola running for his life as he gets hauled down. Rough night for the South Bend St. Joe offense. And following that drive, Jefferson is going to put it away. Bernard Celestin takes it to the edge and goes off for a 28-yard gain, setting up an eventual touchdown. St. Joe gets blanked on the road tonight, 26-0, the final score. And the other lone NIC team in action tonight, the Mishawaka Cavemen, went on the road, and they shut out Crown Point 21-0. So they're coming back.
2-0 as well.
2-0. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout.